What's up, guys? Isaiah Nunez here, OA trainer, here with Kevin Haynes. Kevin, thanks for coming on.
What's going on?
A little bit of info about Kevin. Kevin been training with us for about a year and a half now. He started off at Jesuit during his junior year. His junior year, he was sitting in the low 80s, got maybe 12 innings during that year. You mentioned that you're mainly throwing in scrimmages and inter squads and stuff like that. Heard about us. How'd you hear about us?
So funny story is actually Johnny Susak came up to me on the field and he was just basically saying how there's this new driveline facility down in Sacramento and Tonko's going to it, and he just wanted to get me into it to gain more velocity. So that's how I kind of started here.
Dope. So you've been with us consistently throughout that. You've made a complete transformation, honestly. You're sitting typically 90s, been up to 93. This year you're committed to Sac State. Congratulations on that. This year he got a call from the Pirates in the 5th round, turned it down, but we're excited to see where your future goes.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
So specifically, what did you do, whether it's lifting or throwing wise, that you changed within that time frame?
So basically within that time frame, I just kind of, and I think another friend of mine, Chris Baytosh, can say the same thing because we were kind of both in the same boat. I mean, he threw a little bit more innings than I did, but I mean, like after every game, like we would just be in here, you know, kind of dedicating ourselves to the process. And I think the biggest thing about OA and like driveline is like you kind of get what you put into it. So if you're coming once a week and you want to throw 90, it's just like not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like so we were in here like every day after every game, after every practice, like weighted balls, lifting, kind of following the programs, every program, and we were kind of just hungry to, you know, get recruited, get a scholarship, and I think that's the biggest thing that helped. Just because being on that Jesuit team, it was ruthless, you know. I mean, there's like almost every senior was like committed to like a big school, and you just kind of wanted to say you're committed too, and I think just kind of as I started training more and knowing what it takes to throw harder and eating right and lifting right, and then it just kind of worked. Yeah.
Jesuit's always been that premier place in the area. Is there anything specifically like lifting wise that you've changed, where you've seen, because you're one of our stronger guys that we have here, one of our more consistent lifters, anything specifically that you've seen help yourself in the process?
I'd say definitely the deadlift. If you just do it right and you kind of don't overload on the weight too much, then you'll get strong in the right areas in the legs. So I feel like deadlift, and also mixing in like a speed deadlift, so trying to get it up fast to work on that, like getting down the mound, kind of fast twitch. So I'd say deadlift, squat, just for the legs for pitchers, you know, just kind of building the legs. And then a big thing for me was forearms.
Okay.
I was working my forearms every day just because I wanted to keep that like UCL thing, that little tendon right there, like
protected.
Like protected, you know, and I just always look at like big league pitchers, and those dudes' forearms would be huge. Like Max Scherzer's forearms were like the size of my calf.
Yeah. So
just kind of I feel like those two lifts and then that one specific body part, muscle.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the squat and deadlift, like you said, gets you in certain positions that you need to be strong in when you're throwing.
Yeah.
Right? You're on the sagittal plane a lot, and those are two lifts specifically where you're working in those planes of motion. You have a nickname here. We call you Chainsaw. Why do we call you Chainsaw?
Chainsaw. Okay, so towards the beginning of the year at Granite Bay, I had a friend named Nolan Wilson. He's going to UNR as a catcher. He always had this chainsaw, and he'd always take videos of him with like these Oakleys on, and he has a nice mullet. He just ripped the chainsaw and like rev limited it out in the garage, and just I got one, and then I just started doing that thing, and then we just took videos and made videos of us just doing that. So I guess just that, and then like I always like to have my energy up like a chainsaw, you know. So yeah.
You always have that energy in the gym. We love that. What do you bring? Do you bring anything from OA specifically, like that energy, when you're on the mound, sort of that mentality when you're on the mound?
I'm not as hyper on the mound, I'd say. I feel like I'm pretty hyper in here.
That's true.
Just kind of, just like seeing everybody and everything. Yeah. But I feel like on the mound, I'm a completely different person.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'm like super just like silent and just like I'm super like focused into the catcher, and just it's kind of like I just think of it like me and his glove. Like it's kind of weird. I like tune everything out. Like I don't really hear anything around me, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I just maintain that super level of focus, you know. So
That's really interesting.
yeah,
Whenever I see you in here, you're always like bouncing off the walls, and we love it. We love that energy, and we need it. You know, we
Yeah.
always talk about that, how you need that in training environments, especially when what we're doing in here. You got to have that, and it's cool and interesting to see that it changes even on the mound.
yeah,
You know, like everybody says that when you're on the mound, you get sporadic because you are trying to copy that high intensity, but you know, you sort of just explained it. It's not the same. It's different when you're on the
yeah.
mound.
It's a different story when I'm in the dugout though. After
Yeah.
throwing, then I'm just like yelling at the other team. But
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
You get in the moment, you know? It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
It's intense. And then shaking hands after, and you're like, oh, I just yelled at you for doing some stupid things. But yeah,
That's cool though. I remember going out when you faced Jesuit specifically, and there were a bunch of scouts there. Is there anything that you do before games or specifically during games that sort of tune that out? Like, is there anything, like, is there a certain playlist that you listen to, a certain meal? I mean, I had my stuff, but I'll let you explain yours if you want to go.
yeah. So I mean, I remember the night before throwing against them. I was kind of I wasn't like super nervous, but I was kind of nervous because it's like you're throwing against the school that you just left.
Definitely.
You know, and they're going to be expecting a lot out of you. I mean, they can't expect anything, but by the time I'd already committed to Sac State, and I didn't really leave the school on good terms. I feel like I just kind of left because I was more pissed off of how it ended and everything. So I just kind of wanted to go on the mound and just shove it completely, just give it to them and throw the hardest I could and throw the dirtiest stuff. So I think that morning, I mean, before every game I always eat like an egg burrito. I eat that and then some orange juice. So I just kind of ate that small thing because if I eat too much, then I feel like bloated.
Yeah.
And so I got that, ate that, drove to the game with a teammate of mine, which I usually never do. I'm always just by myself. And then I got like a NOS energy drink, which I like more before I pitch instead of Bangs because it has more sugar. So it gets you going way more because it's just straight sugar instead of caffeine. So I drank one of those, and then I think I just did I used to watch videos of like Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer and Noah Syndergaard on YouTube, like videos of them warming up. And so I just kind of compiled what they do together. I just used that and just warmed up everything and stretched and played long toss out to about to 150 feet, and then went to the bullpen and kind of shoved. But I don't really listen to any playlists before. If it is anything, it's more like chill music. But yeah.
Just beforehand.
Yeah, I don't really have my AirPods in, and then for tuning out, I mean, I just the whole game. Well, the 3 innings I pitched, they were yelling at me. I just heard it in the dugout. They were chirping me.
It was loud.
Yeah, I think I threw. It was a one. I think I threw a 1-1 curveball to the first batter that flew straight up. It wasn't even in, and then I just heard it from them. So then I used that, and I was just so angry. And it was 91 right down the dingle. So use it to your advantage.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap up here pretty soon, but is there
Sweet.
anything, is there one or two things that you can give some of our listeners that, some advice that you found out or some things that you did differently, like you explained, basically to get where you're at today?
I'd say the biggest thing for me was I just love to prove people wrong. I mean, coming out of Jesuit, they said I'd never be a D1 pitcher, never be a D1 hitter, which I mean, still yet to prove D1 hitting, But I just kind of really I kind of left the school with a chip on my shoulder, and I'm just probably going to carry that the rest of my life. And so there's always going to be someone out there telling you can't do something. I mean, they laughed at me when my friends would laugh at me and I'd say, hey, I want to go to the MLB or I want to play pro ball, and then I was like, all right, cool, screw you guys, and then grinding, and then something happened, but I didn't really take the offer. But so just kind of always go out to prove someone wrong, because there's going to be someone saying you can't do something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do. Yeah.
Always have that mentality.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sweet.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.